What's up everyone, MK Tom Brady here. In this video I want to talk about Khameleon and the Sub-Zero pairing with Khameleon. So Khameleon has three variations: Katana, Molina, and then Jade. She will cycle through all these variations on her own every 6 real-time seconds. However, you can control when she switches by any time you do an attack. You can just hold down the cameo button. When the attack is completed, she will automatically switch to the next variation in line. Now, while starting the match, there's no way to discern which variation or control which variation she starts in. However, going from one variation to the next is not random, it's static. So she's in Katana, then she will always go to Molina, then always go to Jade, then always go to Katana, then always go to Molina, so on and so forth. So you have full control over what variation you are switching into next. There is no random factor there. Khameleon has a universal buff known as Broken Mirror, back plus cameo. Now, something that's going to be a theme with Khameleon here is very similar to Tremor and his crystalline armor. You have to be in range to actually receive said buff. So any one of her buffs that you receive in any form, any of her moves that are actually kind of like buffs, you have to be in range of this to actually receive it. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fan lift here. Now this move is done in the Katana form. It's forward plus cameo. If you hold forward, you leap all the way across the screen, forward and cameo, and then don't hold anything at all. You do a mid-range leap, and then forward and cameo, you hold back, you do a short leap. This is very similar to Jackie's leap, well basically is Jackie's leap in Mortal Kombat 11. This move has the power, it's an ambush move, and it has the power to break you out of block stun, hit stun, etc. So let me give you an example here. Sub-Zero does Ice Clone. I see it, as I jump forward. I then call cameo before I get frozen. Cameo is on its way out. It is an ambush, and it breaks me right out of the freeze. So as long as you are in range and of the fan lift, and the ambush attack has been called before you're hit, you can break out of several hit stun situations. I'm really curious to see how this feature ends up getting used in the coming weeks as more and more players find different ways to use this. The next thing about this is it pretty much gives every single character a universal throw off their back throw, a throw combo. So back throw, normally Sub-Zero pretty much gets nothing off it. Many characters get nothing off their back throw. There are very few that actually get something with the right cameo. Now, you pretty much, every single character gets something like this. You're spending a bar of meter here. There's a harder version of this, in which you don't call the fan lift until the backwards throw is almost completely done. This way is a lot easier. The max damage tap out on just one bar is about 15%, but you can use multiple bars, even Fatal Blow in there, to do well over 25%. It is a throw combo, so it's not going to be a ton of damage, but it's an option he didn't have before, and it's just something that if they don't have breaker and it will win the round or win the match, it's an option you have that most characters, including Sub-Zero, didn't previously have before. And those that did have it had to usually give up something, like you only got you had throw combo, but you didn't have the utility that this variation gave you or a feature that that variation gave you. Khameleon's kind of everything in one. So as well, like we were talking about how the fan lift can break you out of hit stun, it can also break you out of block stun. So this move is minus 1,000,000, but now you can float right out of it. And then you can dive kick right in place, or jump over them and dive kick, or you try to pressure, whatever it is you're going to do, you have options here. Now I'm going to use Sub-Zero Slide here just to kind of like show you what I'm talking about on a few things. Oops. So you see the fan lift came out, it didn't hit me. It didn't make contact. But over here, it wasn't a Katana. It still misses. So when you call this is very, very important. So keep that in mind. If you call it right away, you have to be in range to receive the buff. So if you're going to do something like slide into it, you don't want to use the buff until the slide is almost about to make contact. And in a lot of these cases like this, you could probably still get hit, but it makes it a little safer than it otherwise would normally be. So again, just keep in mind, be in range of it. Most important thing here. The next thing that this gives Sub-Zero is, so we all know, like this in the Ice Clone, horribly unsafe. Pretty much every character in the game is going to punish this for free. It gives you a mind game in a lot of situations, because now a lot of characters, if they go to punish, like if Shao Kahn goes to do like his standing 2 to punish you, or characters go to do like a meterless punish, or some armor attacks, it allows you to float, avoid the armor attack, and then punish people. This especially is good for characters like Kung Lao that are going to do armored launcher every single time they see clone. Now the armored launcher is going to miss, and you should be able to get a full combo punish there. So just, again, just very innovative on how this can be used for most characters. Even Sub-Zero can make good use of it. All right, so what it also does is it gives you combo situations that you normally would not have. So like, you have a hit confirm into dive kick here. Now, let's say you don't want to spend the bar. We all know Sub-Zero takes bar for pretty much everything. You can hold Cameo, transition from Katana into Molina, and then continue the combo and then ball roll for a meterless combo. Oops, wrong timing there. Here we go, and it's a meterless combo. So it just kind of shows you some of the creativity that Khameleon can offer here. Now, I also want you to notice how quick she recharges. One of the most important things to realize, the best ability a Cameo can give you is availability. And it's her quick recharge rate that allows her to always be available, that allows just for so much creativity throughout the course of the match, which is going to be available to you pretty much at all times you really need it. All right, so now let's go into her fan toss. So Katana has this fan toss move here. Now, the further away you are, the less it does pretty much. So like the closer you are, it will juggle. And it will juggle higher based on how close you are, and lower to not at all based on how far you are. So for example, you get a lower launcher off forward 1-2 into it because it knocks you back a little bit. But off back 2, because you're closer, you actually get a higher launch. So you can also do it off back 2 or back 3. And keep in mind that this is completely safe. So if I put it on block all, completely safe. So you can do big damage with multiple bars, like dive kick, EX dive kick combos off of this in open space, 35-40%. Or you can just do a little bit of damage for no resources. In the corner, you can do well over 30% with no bar at all. Just because obviously they're much closer, so you get a bigger combo. But it gives you, like, you can do that back 2 or back 3 into fan, and it's going to be a full combo in open space that's completely safe. You can also do it off forward 1-2. It just, I don't know why you would do that as opposed to lift, but, in the corner, you can do forward 1-2 into that, into full combo, and it's very, very good. So pretty much any hit on the corner in the fan is going to give you a full max combo in open space. You're going to have to spend multiple bars to really do big damage, but you're still going to get a combo even if it's a small one. And you can use it off back 2 and back 3 to make them both safe. Which segues me now into Molina. So Molina, so I just talked about back 2 and back 3, and I know what you guys are thinking. But Tom, you're always talking about how back 2 isn't going to hit anybody, it's too slow, it's whatever. True. Online, however, the back 2, back 3 shenanigans is somewhat viable because of just how bad the netcode is right now for this game, which is the topic for another day. What Molina does is she has this overhead here. Now this is 18 frames. So Sub-Zero's back 2 is not only slower, but it has a visual tell. Usually when it comes to blocking something on reaction, speed of the move is obviously important. But how soon does the move show you what it is also very important. And Sub-Zero's back 2 is not only slow, but it shows you exactly what it is long before the move makes contact. Not the case for this. It's 18 frames, so it's quite fast. And the only real visual tell is Sub-Zero putting his arm out as it is a summon, not an ambush. Very, very tough to react to that. I would say this is a pretty much straight raw guess. So what this gives you is you can combo off your low into her forward cameo in Molina. and it gives you the same type of juggle as like Sonya, and it's the same thing for your armored slide. So in the same way that your armored slide would give you a juggle with Sonya, it will also give you a juggle with Molina's forward cameo. So you have low options here, and then you have just a raw overhead option. So you can use back 3 into stuff with Molina, or you can just use raw cameo, and you actually have a true mix-up. Now this is unsafe on block. I believe it's -16, -17, something like that. Let's see. It is -17. Okay, so it is unsafe on block. However, you can do it from range as well to kind of catch people off guard, you know, like they're just not blocking or whatever. And from this range, it's a little safer. It says -17, but because of the distance, it makes it much, like, obviously it's significantly harder to punish from all the way out here than it is at point blank range. But really, even though it's unsafe, I mean, everything Sub-Zero does is unsafe. What this is a true mix-up situation that is now unreactable. And even though you're going to get punished for it, it is a combo starter that they actually have to guess, which is outside of using Kung Lao Lohao shenanigans. There's really no way Sub-Zero would have in a really, really good connection or offline to actually open you up for an overhead, because back 2 is just going to get blocked every single time. So making it quote-unquote safe won't really matter if it's always going to get blocked anyway. This is where Molina comes in. She actually gives you a real mixed situation. And you can also do things like back 3-4 or back 3 into the overhead. Back 3-4 comes out in 16 for the last hit. The roll is 18. So it's a 2 frame window to fuzzy guard. Very difficult to do. A lot of people are just going to raw guess or armor after blocking back 3, which of course you can block their armor attack as back 3 is -7. So again, just a really good utility situation here. And of course, in the corner, you get very good damage. You get like almost 30% in offense, open space, over 30% in the corner, and that is meterless. And speaking of meterless, now we're going to transition into the Jade variation. So Jade has her glow. It is an ambush. And, oh, by the way, I just want to, her glow is forward cameo. Just want to show you that Molina's, her Sai is also an ambush attack. So say you're like going to jump, you can kind of throw it out or do an attack. Like say I'm Sub-Zero and I wanted to do his clone punch and I didn't want people to jump it. You can call the Molina forward and cameo. And if they try to end up jumping it, they're going to get hit. So it's just something to just keep in mind. You know, just so many uses for all 3 cameos here. So Jade, she has her glow. This is going to make you immune to all projectiles, similar to Sub-Zero, only it's not ice armor, so it cannot be broken by Reiko's stars. It's actual true projectile invulnerability. That's not armor that can be broken off by X amount of hits. Khameleon also has her Glaive in her Jade form. Now this is, I think, better than Serena in my opinion, because Serena, while the knives always come back, like say you do back 2 into knives, it's pretty much safe unless you're against like characters like Johnny Cage or someone like that, right? This is always +3. So see the first hit says +3 no matter what you do. The first hit is always going to say +3. So you can do overhead low into Glaive. It's always going to say +3. And then you can react if it's hit or not, and then still down one fast enough to beat out their move. Or keep in mind, you can always block. And if they try hitting buttons, the Glaive comes back and the Glaive is going to hit them, and you're going to get a full combo. The Glaive also, very much like Serena, is going to give you a full combo. Now, the thing is, if you get hit while the Glaive is returning, it will not return. So unlike Serena, where no matter what, that knife is coming back, Glaive will only come back so long as you don't get hit by something. But works the same way. Full combo of overhead low, forward 1-2, pretty much everything you're gonna full combo into this. So it's really, really cool because you can also use it in open space as like a pressure tool as well. Like obviously you have neutral, you can just throw it out, very similar to how Serena is, and if it hits, you're still gonna get a full combo. But keep in mind, it's also going to give you, you move much faster, so you can have a lot more advantage than someone like Serena is going to give you. So just a lot of utility that Khameleon really gives Sub-Zero. I'm sure there are things that I'm really not thinking about right now off the top of my head, but just overall, this is a really solid cameo. Is it his best cameo? I still think Kung Lao is better, to be honest with you. But is this his best cameo in certain matchups? Absolutely. This could be his best cameo against someone like Kung Lao, who anytime you see clone, armored launcher. Can't do that when you have Katana on deck, you know. Just a whole bunch of mind games and situations that Sub-Zero didn't really have beforehand. I do not think this is his best cameo. And I do not think this is anything that I would call a quote-unquote synergy. So it does not change Sub-Zero's tier position. However, he can use it, and I do believe it is his best option in certain matchups, just not his best option overall. This, you know, what's crazy to me is, you see, when they want to make a cameo innovative and creative and good, without limitations, they can do it. And they've shown this with characters and cameos. Yet with so much of the game, they want to put handcuffs on stuff, not be as innovative, be more restrictive. Oh, well, let's be a little safe here. And when you see stuff like this, you just say, why can't they do this across the board? If they did that, this game would not be in the state it's in. Will they end up doing it? Only time will tell. But I want to hear you guys' feedback on Khameleon. Are you guys enjoying her? What do you think about her? What's your team with Khameleon? Let me know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more content.